Hey everybody, what is crack-a-lackin'? Wages World here with you. I changed the thumbnail, guys, and I changed the title. I didn't know whether or not this thing was going to hit by the time I went live, and lo and behold, right as I was getting ready to go live, guess what? Things started hitting. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, and if I'm being honest with you right now, I haven't looked at everything yet. So keep that in mind. You're going to look at some things with me for the first time since I've looked at them. I haven't even shared this out yet, so you guys are going to have to give me 2 seconds to share this out. I need to do that, or we won't get as many viewers. If you guys could, please share this out while I'm doing this also. What I'll do is I will get a couple things going here so you guys can see what's happening. Let's go ahead and just go over here to the magnetosphere model. This right here, guys, is going to show you the beginning of the hit. Look at all that magnetic pressure, but that's at the end of the run there on that model. It just now reset. This is what it's looked like all day until just up till a few minutes ago. So, yeah. Now, again, guys, please share this one out. This is something that we don't get to do very often, and that is to go live during a solar storm like this that is just beginning. And let me tell you something, this thing hit with the force immediately. We went straight to G3. So, and that isn't something that wasn't like expected, but it wasn't something that always happens. So let me share this out. If you guys would, please do the same. I don't know what else. I mean, I'm not trying to make a big deal about this because this is not grid down. I want to say that first and foremost. This is not anything to be scared about. Never ever be scared about anything I show you. Please. With that being said, I'm going to try to cover this for a few minutes and as we get into this solar storm. And we're going to keep going back to the same things here. So I want you guys to see kind of the progression as it's happening live. I've never been able to do this for you guys, and I've always wanted to. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And I hope that you guys can kind of appreciate that and forgive some of my, I guess, just kind of, I'm not going to be squirreling, but I am going to be moving around a lot here. And it went straight to a G3, which means it's strong to severe solar storm. And again, let me just send this out real quick, okay? I get distracted. I can't multitask like I used to. My brain just doesn't work like that. But with that being said, guys, did you guys know you can't, technically you cannot multitask? Your brain cannot think about two things at once. So people that are good at multitasking, you know what that means? That means they have the ability to have really good short-term memory and recall it quickly. That's multitasking. Your brain cannot think about two separate things at the same time. So, multitask is really kind of a semantical word that shouldn't even be there. Severe solar storm hitting now. Live coverage. Like I'm some big news station. Ooh, live coverage. It ain't me. It ain't me. What's that woman's been doing to me? Can't you see? Oh, can't you see? The sun is hitting us, and I think I might pee. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Please share. Come join in the chat. Join in chat. See you there. I share this to Facebook, guys, every time, and then I send it out on my Telegram links. It helps, believe it or not, guys. I need to start sending it out on X, and because I think that would help too. I do have an X account. Most people don't know that because I don't use it very often. I'm going to start using it because I think it's a good way to get the word out that I'm live. With that being said, yeah. So, but what you guys are looking at there, guys, thank you, TNAZ. Appreciate that. For sure. Already. You guys are rocking it. I love all you guys. I mean, you guys are just so cool. I'm not even kidding. It's just you can't ask for a better group of people. Understanding when I make mistakes and things like that. Guys, I'm an imperfect person, guys, just like everybody else here. And I make mistakes. I don't always make the right decisions, and I don't pretend to. And I'm not talking about just getting the space weather news correct. Just the interactions we all have with each other. Sometimes I make mistakes, guys. That's just the fact of the matter. But I can tell you this: I never ever intentionally offend or upset anybody. I try my best never ever to do that, because I know how it feels. I try to interact with you guys because I also know how that feels to be in somebody's chat and nobody is even responding to you at all. People have asked me, why do I have so many moderators? That's why. That's why. Because that's part of a moderator's job, is to talk to everybody. Make them feel important, because they are. Without all you guys, I am not here. That's just a fact. And yes, sometimes there becomes issues with having too many and all of that. With that being said, hey, everybody needs to give Dennis. Let's put some like 6 or 7 sevens in there for Dennis. He's a brand new moderator. Yesterday. So yeah. But yeah, guys, please. I've had a rough day today, by the way. Guys, today was the 3rd day. Now I'm reading Memory's comment there, and it makes my day seem just not even half of that. I'm sorry you're going through that, bud. I really am. That's a hard thing. I've been through that, Memory Trigger. If that's I'm not sure if you're a woman or a man, so please let me know so I don't, address you the wrong way. But guys, my daughter's school has been on lockdown 3 days in a row. I'm about over it. Okay, and today was the most scary, just so you guys know. It was not fun today. I was scared. Well, lack of a better word, please forgive me for saying this. I was scared shitless. I really was. I was very, very concerned. It was horrible. It was a horrible couple hours for me. And then talking to my daughter later on, it was just as bad or worse for them. Because of obvious reasons. I mean, we gotta, obviously I wasn't in that building. They were. We have a very big high school here. Okay? And with that being said, it's a good and a bad thing all at the same time. Because where the stuff happens, there's a good chance that you won't even be nowhere near it. But the chances of those things happening are greater because there's more students. So it's one of those catch-22 things. What's better? What's this? What's that? I can tell you that I've never gotten texts from my daughter like I got today. And obviously when they go on lockdown like that, it's something I was actually kind of surprised that she was even able to do that, but they probably let them have their phones in this case. And I've been pushing anyway. And the reason why is because they at the beginning of the year, they were making them put their phones up in a cubby at the beginning of class. They didn't want them to have them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? With today's world? You're not taking my daughter's phone from her. Make her put it on mute. Don't let her use it. Police it like you're supposed to as teachers. But at the same time, guys, yeah. I mean, we got to have that communication. Now, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that right now. But I did want to bring that up because I've been distracted the past few days, and that's part of it. Why the lockdown? Very serious threats, brother. Friday, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, The school got locked down because a student was on Snapchat naming kids and teachers and was heading to the school. Okay? So this is not something that was fake. This was not something that was misread. This was happening. And a few years back, we had a student at one of our middle schools went in there again with a firearm, and the police acted very, very quickly because of some tips and things like that. And unfortunately, the kid made it into the school. But guess what? He made it up one flight of stairs before the unthinkable happened. Right there in the stairwell of the school. The cop took care of it. And I'm not going to say what that means. You guys can read what that means. It's just so crazy. It was horrible. It's horrible to get those, because the school now sets you up with the text, just so you guys know. They'll set you up with the text. They will text you, call you. You're on like a mass text list and all that kind of thing. When the school goes into lockdown, just to kind of help the parents, feel a little bit more, hey, I'm involved, I'm seeing what's going on, I'm not so worried. If we know what's going on, we don't get as worried. And so I get in the car today because they not only did they go on because the last two times they were on lockdown secure. And there's two different things: lockdown secure and complete lockdown, or classroom secure and then lockdown. Classroom secure means they lock the doors and they don't go through passing periods. They stay in that classroom until things get cleared. Okay? And that happened during lunchtime. So you can imagine the mess that is. But then today, during lunch, our principal, guys, we got it's over 1,000 kids in our school. The principal went running out of the lunchroom to hit the PA, and if they say lockdown 3 times, that means that's an official lockdown, that is not a drill, that kind of thing. So my daughter's in this room in the career center, and they're flipping desks over, putting them in front of doors. I mean, the whole thing, guys. And she's texting me the whole time, freaking out. And there's nothing I can do. Absolutely nothing I can do. That's such a helpless feeling. But they didn't do anything wrong, okay? So I don't want anybody thinking that I'm complaining because they did all that. But what ended up happening, a block from the school, there was somebody walking up and down the street with a gun. And I'm not sure if they were even intended to go into the school or not. But that's because of the previous 2 days, we had the FBI here, and they're the ones that made that call to put the school on lockdown like that. So anyway, let's talk about space weather. I just want to let you guys know my mind just was not here for the past couple days, and I apologize for that. I've been, just not being able to interact with you guys like I like to, and it just has been kind of rough. That's all. And reading that comment there, having somebody in hospice, you've had a lot worse day than me. So I really do appreciate you being here. Let's get some ones in the chat for that. Okay? You guys might have already done that. But everything's been sent out now, guys. Yeah, it's been a day, guys. It really has. Well, Dennis, that gave me a mental picture that, well, buddy, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding. I'm laughing right now. But yeah, guys, they have to take these things serious nowadays. I am not complaining about what they did, but I am saying that, hey, this is something that, guys, we never had to deal with that when we were in school. I feel sorry for our kids. I really do. Okay, so I'm going to drop that conversation now. Let's go to what we're here for, the live coverage here of the space weather. Guys, look at this. So what we're looking at here, guys, I was scheduled at 9:55 to come on, guys, right? And so as I go live, I was bringing up my chat and stuff. This is the first page I usually load as my tabs, because I just click through tabs for you guys. And the first thing I see is this, G3. I was like, whoa, because it was nothing earlier when I was setting up. This thing was late. You guys seen the first thumbnail. It was late, by a considerable amount. Almost, well, at least 12 hours. They give themselves plus or minus like 7 hours either direction for just having, mathematical flaws or model flaws, all that kind of stuff. So if they're inside that 7 hour window, they consider it a correct forecast. And I agree with that. I mean, you can't, 93 million miles away, something coming at us, doing this, doing that with space and everything. I mean, come on. You got to have some sort of understanding that ain't always going to be a perfect forecast. So, yeah, but this is even outside of that. So they did miss the timing. Now, all that means is this. Okay, I'm going to go down here to their forecast model that I've been showing you guys for the past couple days. This is the end little spiral at NOAA. Okay, and before I show you that, I do want to pull up the NASA model also. It's the same end little spiral, but I went over this yesterday. Okay, this is the CME hitting us now. So NASA had this thing kind of move, a little bit more to our east. Again, east-west is backwards when you're talking about looking at the sun from our planet. You have to pretend you're on the surface of the sun looking up. And that's how they do it. So that means east-west is backwards, north-south is the same. Okay? So with that, this is NASA's model. It's showing us getting hit on all three axes here. So yes, we were getting hit, but this was more of a side blow according to NASA. And this may be of what's going on, because that would compensate for the lateness that we're talking about. Because if you think about it, if you're getting hit with the side and not the front, the side's going to actually impact you later anyway, just because of its relation in space. Okay, so that's just built into that. Now, if we come back over here to the NOAA model of the same model, they split theirs in two here, but it is the exact same model. They just put different parameters in here, and each model takes in consideration different things at higher levels to bring it to its final conclusion of what this looks like. The NASA model does the same thing, okay? So they're different. They're the same model, but different, okay? If that makes any sense. Hopefully I didn't confuse you guys there. But because of that, we get two different forecasts. Now, when both of these like completely line up, you can bet your butt it's probably going to happen that way. Okay? It's going to be really close. These did not do that exactly this time. Okay? So I've been talking about this. Which one's going to be correct? Well, we're going to look at I haven't even looked at the density or anything yet. Okay? At least here in the past couple hours, because we just weren't in storm level. Now, so NOAA here has got us having a more direct hit than just a glancing blow right there. Okay, it's more of a side hit. A direct hit would be here. Okay, the middle, the most intense part right there. Okay, just in the middle. So obviously it's going to go south and to our east. Again, remember east-west is backwards. I'm going to start using the term left. Okay, so pretend you're standing on the earth looking up, and I'm saying left instead of east. Okay, so if I say right, that means west. Again, it's backwards on the sun, and I probably just confused a whole butt ton of people. But anyway, as you see here, right here, that they're saying that the velocity was high, and we're going to go look at it and see how high it actually is. I haven't looked yet, but this model is saying it is going to get close to 900, at least 800, which is 200 or 2 million miles per hour, roughly. We can actually look at and get an exact on that, but I'm not going to tonight. We might later, but I'm not going to do it right now. But as you can see right here, guys, that's what's hitting. I didn't expect this to hit right this second. I didn't know when it was going to. So, take that for what it's worth. Now, with that being said, hey, by the way, hi, Cherish, hi, Ripper, seeing you in there. Ilea, thank you. Trinity, thank you for being here, guys. All my mods, again, guys, give Dennis some props. Hey, Drops, good to see you. And thanks again for the gifted memberships, PNI AZ. Good, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. You're awesome. That's all I can say. And I'll give you some more shout outs here in a minute. Here in a few minutes. Make sure I got that. Got the right person here that did that. Guys, when you guys gift memberships, it goes at the top. in a tab, but it only stays there for a few minutes. And sometimes I miss it, and yeah, you guys know the drill. But okay, so I'm just trying to figure out okay, TNAZ, I think. Yes, TNAZ is the one that gifted that. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you. Okay, so again, this is the NASA model. So what we're gonna do, Aloha, just got a KP 6.7. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. And I can tell you just by, guys, this is the ACE data. This is what we always used to use. Now we use Discover. But do you see this? That's the first thing we look. That's the BZ. When it spreads out like that, and look how far down south it is. It's looking at negative 20 right now. Remember, guys, I told you that if we're going to go way negative, this is going to hit us hard. And it's exactly what's happening. So I tell you what, let's just stop right there. And, I need to recollect myself here a little bit after talking about what happened today. But let's look at the discovered data. And this has only been going on for just a few hours here. Okay, it started basically at 2300, which would be, let's see here, 2300 is 11 p.m. UTC. So you take 4 hours off of that. So around 7 is when this thing kind of started. Or, yeah, 7. Duh. Come on, do some math. Take your socks off, Wages. Start counting. Anyway, what I will say, we are very far south negative right now. With that being said, that's exactly why it didn't waste any time getting to G3. Okay? Now, the other parameters had to be there also. Our density, let's see here, it's not very high, right? I look for that to go a little bit higher. And even our speed, guys, our speed really, the highest we've seen it was close to 600. So that's what I would expect. I expected the speed to be a little bit lower, okay? Because it got here a little bit late. But you can clearly see when we started getting hit, everything moved. Everything. Temperature, speed, density, the phi angle. If you guys don't know what the phi angle is, Google it. But I'll tell you a little quick. I'll just say what it actually is without explanation. It's the actual polarity of the solar wind itself. Okay? And I'm not going to get into some big long explanation on that tonight. But remember, the BZ, the threshold we look for is -6. We're at, we're getting close to -20 and we're staying there. Which means this is a sustainable hit. It's continuing. Okay? I've been waiting on this all day long because I think all this stuff here, prior to this, even from here, okay, has been a precursor to what's happening. We see this a lot. We see this kind of just either a lower space weather conditions, I guess, not so intense, and then it'll jump around quite a bit before, and sometimes we even see this stabilization here. That's kind of what you've seen with the BZ. Okay, our magnetic field, the polarity of it, as far as the direction it was pointing, went very level right there, and stayed that way for hours. Okay, and then boom, when this thing hit, bam, 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 bam. Something else that we can look at to kind of prove out what I'm saying here. You see this little uptick in the proton flux? Remember what I said. This storm here that we're looking at right now from that X flare, that's what's hitting us, okay? It produced a big enough CME that it raised our protons from down here to here almost into storm level. And I told you guys 2 days ago that when we get hit, we're going to see another increase. So if there was enough hanging around, we could get into a radiation storm. Is that going to be part of this story? It's going to be a very, very small snippet part of this story. Because unless this thing is a lot stronger than what we all think it is, then that's going to go to an S1. Maybe. Okay? And maybe on the outside, I'll say S2. I mean, on some perfect condition type of thing here. But S1, you're not going to see anything. You're not going to notice it. S2, barely going to notice it. Okay? So we're not even going to worry about that right now. I will say we just had another flare. Now, look, see where our base X-ray is right now? You know, 3 days ago it was up here. We stayed in M-class range. M-class flare range. We never came down out of it for like, it was like 9 hours there. But we're down into C-class range and close to B. So what I'm saying is we just had this flare right here. This actually could be a decent sized flare. We're going to go look here in a minute. Oh, wow. See? Look, check it out. Hey, Leah, I hope it ain't cloudy for you tonight, girl. Check out that Aurora oval. We're going to look at the Aurora dashboard here in a minute, but I'll give you guys a quick snippet right here. This is definitely, that's some intense Aurora, okay? And we talked about this yesterday. You know, it was all going to be about the timing of when this hits. Guys, if you're in the States, this is the perfect timing for you. If you want to catch Aurora, tonight is the night. Okay? This thing right here is, I mean, that right there is your latest forecasted image here. Intensity of Aurora. That's going to grow. Notice how far south it is right now. Okay, see how the green haze is? Chicago right now possibly could be seeing some Aurora. So if you follow that latitude line around, that's Northern California, guys. Okay, where this green is, because it's actually further south down here. Now, you're not going to see intense stuff there, okay, down that far south. At least consistent intense stuff. Now, I'm saying that, but this is the model, right? So it's actually producing something that's based off of, let me show you. It's not based off of the actual condition, and let me tell you why, okay? The base it's using is these things, okay? So the base it's going to start with probably on the model. I don't know exactly how the model works, but it will enter the conditions. But the conditions are being considered almost kind of at a lower level than what they really should be. Just a little bit, not a bunch, okay? I want to stress that. And the only reason why I say this, and this is my opinion, okay? There's people out there that don't agree with this. There's people out there that think it actually should be worse, right? For me, I'm kind of in the middle with this, but I think it should be increased a little bit. What we should expect to see during certain levels of solar storms. I think this should be a little bit more intense, is what I'm saying. A little further south, just a touch, not a bunch, okay? But, so with that being said, this model's going off of that preconceived, hey, this is the base type of thing. But if our conditions actually should be raised a little bit, this actually should be just a little bit more intense. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But, guys, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, shout out to my Aussies. You guys are going to get some, too. Unfortunately, if it was to reach up into, like, Australia, New Zealand type of stuff here, it's going to have to be 12 hours from now. So if this storm lasts that long, it doesn't look like it's supposed to, but we'll see. So, with that being said, let's, this is what they expect to see tonight. But, you see what that says? That's KP of 5. Where are we at right now? We're at a KP of 7. It's not going to show it here because these are 3-hour averages. How can I say we're at least a KP of 7? Because this says G3. Latest observed is still G3. Where does G3 start? At a 7. Now, what we're going to do now, because I didn't have it pulled up yet, we'll take a look at the HP. I guarantee you this thing's going to be high. Yeah, look. Guys, we got to a G4 for 30 minutes right there. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Matter of fact, I said that yesterday. Okay? So, but I also want to point out, we went G2, G4, bottom in G4, let me stress. back down to, they kind of consider that still a G4 because you kind of round up because that's 7.667 right there. But we'll just, we'll call it G3, right? But then look what happens. It's dropped off already. Now, this is common, okay? It's going to go up and down a little bit. Sometimes this might be all we get. I don't know. But other times, this could go up and down, up and down, up and down. Or it could go up and stay there. So, this is the HP. It's a 30-minute instead of a 3-hour average. And I like to show you guys that during these kinds of things because it does show. Hey, I'm going to put a fan. I'm burning up here in this room I'm in. I'm going to put a fan right there. Let me know if that's too much of a rumble noise, if it's bothering the audio at all. It may not even bother it at all, but we'll see. Just let me know if it does. Let me know if it doesn't too, please. If you guys can't hear it, let me know. If you guys can, yeah. Is 7.67 again now? Yes. Yes, that's right now. It's right here. Well, yeah, the next 30-minute average is in. It's down to a 6, which is a G2. But, again, they're going to tell you right now it's a G3. That's the latest observed. So I don't know exactly where, that's happening at. But we'll see. And, guys, we're going to run through everything. I'm not going to keep you here all night. I just thought it's cool to be able to be here, be live with you guys. And you guys get to see what I do as far as trying to figure out what's going on and what we need to be looking at. And just the conditions and understand better of what's happening. All right, cool. You guys can't even hear the fan? Awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm burning up, just so you know. Yeah. And again, guys, I appreciate you being here. And thank you guys for just all the positivity lately. You guys know I'm trying to grow the channel and everything, and you guys have really had my back on that. We've gained a couple hundred subscribers the past couple videos. I think this video was getting close to 8,000 views, the prior live stream. And I would kind of expect a little uptick anyway because of what's going on, right? This is going to draw more people to look. But I also like to think I'm getting better at my game, though. You know what I mean? And I am. I feel like I am. But, who knows? All right, so let's go look at the geomagnetic field again here. Remember, the sun's off to the left. This is speed and speed only. Now, if you guys ever come over here to this and look at this, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put this in the chat real quick because this is something I think everybody should look at. All right? Hey, Heather Joy, good to see you. Good to see you, girl. Okay, so there is that link to this magnetosphere tool. This is one of the best tools that you can look at, okay? It is a good visual. The sun's off to the left, space weather's moving left to right. It shows you speed here in this particular image. This is density, okay? And this is magnetic pressure. And it continually updates. You don't even have to leave the page or refresh it. If the model updates to its newest imaging, it will do it automatically and reset itself while you're there on the page. So you don't really even have to move. So that's just, we'll stick with that right there. But as you can tell, this was kind of what we had earlier today. And then there's the beginning of that hit. Now watch, I'm going to stop this for a second. I want you guys to see something. I'm going to take it there. Do you guys see how that's more of a bell shape right here? Okay, and you kind of see it over here too. I want you to watch as this thing hits because it's going to become almost completely flat, vertical. All right? So I'm going to play it. I want you, then we get hit. Now watch. See how it kind of flattened out already a little bit? And then we fought back and we pushed, right? But watch what happens here on the end. You see how flat that's getting? That's because we're getting hit with a CME that is actually big enough that it's really encompassing us, right? So that's telling me that this is not necessarily a glancing blow. Because if we're going to get hit, more of a head-on hit, it's going to do that, right? And again, guys, we're talking magnetics here. We're not talking like any kind of whatever else. It's plasma for all essential purposes. Guys, we got 4 states of matter, and everybody knows the first 3, right? Solid, liquid, gas. Don't eat too much Taco Bell or you'll have too much of that third one. But anyway, but the 4th one is plasma. Now, plasma is nothing more, by definition, than gas that has a charge. Okay? Positive or negative. That's all plasma is. That's exactly what we're seeing. So, when this plasma erupts off the sun, bam, 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 here we go, right? So, I'm going to pause that, and I'll run this to the end. See how flat that is? So, that's what it does when we get hit like that. And also, you see this? You see the angle here? That's actually would be to our left, but this is doing it also. You just can't really see it real well right now. Now, if I was to go up here to the... Let's just use the density. The density will probably show it. Sometimes you can see the -6 show up here, okay? Because if you take the front of our magnetosphere and kind of draw a straight line, and you can see basically kind of how it's pointing, what direction it's pointing. So if it was pointing more like this, right? And it may not show it up on this model right now, because sometimes it doesn't show up quite well. But we do know that we are pointed south. The reason why is because of this BZ. Okay? Now the BT is up to 20. I'm not going to talk about what that actually is. But it looks like our BZ might be going a little bit more positive right now. But it's at like -13. Any other day, people would be freaking out seeing that on -13. I don't want to say freaking out. I guess it's not like, oh, running for the hills or nothing. When I say freaking out, they would be more apt to be like, whoa, check that out. We better be looking for some solar storms, right? But that looks like it did get to 600 there for a minute. Well, no, because that's the top of the graph. So, unless they change this, okay, the second that they put 700 on this one, or 800, as far as the range here, we won't have a eclipse 600 yet. Okay, if it goes over 600 at all one time, the whole graph will go from 3 to 700, or maybe they'll say 3, or maybe even, well, what's the lowest reading here? They might go, well, they probably stick with the 3 there and go to 800. I don't know how they would do it, but they would go at least high enough to give them some movement. Okay. They can't just have this say 0 to 1200, because if they did, when the conditions were at like 300, it would be so far down here, it would almost be on the, so far almost like on the bottom. And it would just, when it would move some, you wouldn't be able to see it as good. Because, like, if I go from 300 to 600, see how far I got to move my cursor? But if they add 600 more, and they cram it into this area, I'm only going up halfway instead of from the bottom to the top. You see what I'm saying? So the movement won't look as dramatic, and you always got to consider that. Okay, let's see here. What I do want to show you guys next is the Australian model. Shout out again to my Aussies. This is the same model, guys, that I just showed you, but it's a simplified version of it. Okay, this gives us everything we need to know. It really, truly does. It gives us all the basic information we need to know, whether or not we're getting hit. Where is our bow shock? As far as, that's the standoff position, right? Well, it says standoff distance right there. So 10.6 means it's sitting out right there, right? That's about where it usually sits. Okay? So if that thing's moving back and forth, that means we're getting hit. It's got your BZ right here. It's got all the important solar wind data here. Okay? Solar wind speed right now. Well, I won't say right now because it might be at the end. What time is that? Yeah. So right now it's at 473 kilometers per second, which is in normal range. Guys, check this out. The density is at 2. Normal is 4. So it's even lower than that. So what are we left to think here, right? Why are we seeing a decent sized geomagnetic storm like this when those two data points are in complete normal range? Right here. Okay? It's the BZ. We opened up magnetically because we went to the south. And the magnetic fields inside of this CME that's hitting us now is hitting us in a way that those magnetic fields are going to couple to our system. And they get drawn in. Boom. There's your geomagnetic storm. Okay? So let me play this one. That's on the 17th. Now you're not getting too much there. Let's go back to, let's watch the 16th. We'll watch the whole day here. You see how it's reverbing? And that's normal. But when we start getting hit, you'll see it kind of curve in. And you'll see the sun win sometimes, and then we'll push back and win the battle for a minute. But you can watch the time here, and it's getting ready to hit. See it starting to bend in? Okay? And look at that. Okay? We're bent in pretty good there. Just so you know. This is the satellite line. That satellite line is where a lot of our satellites are at. Why do they put that on here? Well, because right now the satellites have protection from this, from Earth's magnetic field. Okay? If this bow shock gets in here, guess what? Any satellite on the day side there is exposed directly to unprotected space weather smacking these satellites. What it does is it increases the density. Okay? And so it's like they're going through, I'll use this analogy. How about this? Say they're sitting in a big old bowl of water, right? And then somebody comes along and adds sand to the water. What's it do? It adds friction and drag. So if you're trying to walk through that with just water, you're walking through, let's say, 5 miles an hour. I'm just throwing out a number there. But you throw some sand in there with the water, and all of a sudden you're dropping down to 4 because you can't go as fast. So what's that do to these satellites? It slows them down. If they slow down, they don't stay in the same orbit. They got to steer them. So that's why this is important. Miriam, I can promise you that ain't the case. Just so you know. Yeah, there's really no reason to say that. That is nothing more than just trying to cause problems. Who thought? Yeah, Sage Pup, good job. Hold on. Yeah, Sage Pup, thank you. I ain't seen you in a minute, Sage Pup. Good to see you in here. But yeah, so let me just say that first and foremost. Now, let's do this. Hey, Dennis, use that wrench, brother. Somebody says some stupid crap like that, they're saying it for no other reason than it's to cause problems. That's all that's for. I see Sage Pup timed them out for 300 seconds. And I don't normally even address this, but I'm going to address this one because I want you guys to understand what my mods have to go through. Okay? You guys don't see half the stuff that gets blocked. Half the time, YouTube decides that, by the way. Things that get held for review are stuff that's kind of on the edge, and our moderators have to choose whether to allow it to show or not. And if it does, like that comment there, I'll just tell you what that comment was. And again, I don't usually just do this because it doesn't really help, but I want you guys to understand. The comment was, Satan is ruling here. Okay, no, first off. 2, that does nothing to propagate any kind of good conversation. Nothing positive is going to come from that. So, Sage Pup did the right thing, deleted it, put them on a 300-second timeout. Happens again, guess what? You know, I mean, we just ain't got time for that. You know, all that can do is cause problems. So, and that's why I don't usually even draw attention to it, because now I'm wasting my breath on that. It's stupid. But I want you guys to know, you know, everybody's opinion is welcome. But that's not an opinion. That was put there exactly just to cause problems. So, no vulgarity. Every opinion's welcome, as long as it's in a respectful way. So, telling somebody that Satan is ruling here is a direct shot at me or anybody else in the chat. And that's not even, I'm not even basing that on a religious thing. That's just no other reason. That's a shot at somebody. And we ain't got no room for that in here. So if you want to do that, you can go somewhere else. Okay, so, oh wow, check this out, guys. They changed it. Check that out. Where was this one? Remember? It was down here at a 6. They brought that up to a 6.3. Okay, cool. So yeah, this isn't slowing down. It's kind of that, I would consider that kind of holding steady. So just so you know. Hey, Miss V, good to see you. Kathy, aloha. Planet Herman, good to see you. That's right, I am Planet Hermit. Exactly. And I don't want us wasting time on that either, okay, guys? Because I don't like that to even happen. That's why I don't ever address it. But I thought I needed to, because I've been going over chat roles. And I want you guys to know that you guys can have whatever opinion you want. Please put your opinion in there. I don't care if it's against the grain. I don't care if it's something I'm completely against. If it's put there in a respectful way, it stays. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. And that, you know, sometimes some of the mods will get a little overzealous thinking that's what I want. So I say this so everybody understands it. I'm not taking, I'm not getting on anybody at all, really. I'm just saying, hey, this is what I want, just so everybody understands. Unless it's got vulgarity in it, or if it's attacking somebody, but also, take in consideration somebody else's feelings. Okay? If somebody says, hey, can we please just not talk about that? That's offending me. At least consider that. Okay? I ain't telling you not to keep asserting your opinion, but consider that. And maybe just agree to disagree at that point and change the subject. That's all I'm saying. That's all right, John, brother. I appreciate you, man. It's good to see you, by the way. Good to see you. Guys, you guys need to get over to Matthew Shipley's channel, too. He rocks over there with those graphics and stuff. Dr. Tim with the Scope did a 12-minute video today. So, yeah. Deep Quick comes in with the 5 memberships. Oh, yeah. Heck, yeah. Love it. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Oh, I want to also point out, I know I don't usually report on, I report on earthquakes, but I can't, forecast them or anything. What I do want to do, though, I want to go take a look at that one that happened after my live stream last night. That was significant. Guys, I mean, oh, wow. See, look what just happened. Holy cow, really? That's Texas, guys. What the heck? Are you kidding me? That's a 5.1 in Texas. Now, I know they do some fracking and stuff around that area, but that's a decent-sized quake for there, guys. No joke. What time did that happen? Let's change this to UTC time. So UTC time, that happened at 49 minutes, we'll just call it 1 UTC on the 17th, okay? That's when that quake happened. So that would be, well, let's just change that back to my time zone. That would have been at 8:50 would have been at 8:50, so it would have been 2 hours ago. Okay? When did this solar storm start? I'm just saying. Just saying. Check it out. This solar storm literally started about an hour and a half before that quake hit. Just saying. So if people want to say that we don't see effects from these things, you might want to go look at that. I am not saying that that's exactly what caused this quake. All I am saying is it's part of the formula. There is not just one single thing that causes one quake. Okay? There's always other factors. This sometimes can just be the straw that breaks the camel's back that causes that to happen. Okay? So, make no mistake, I am not saying that the CME is the only reason we see that quake there. I'm just saying there's a good chance it had a part to play. That is 100% all I'm saying. Oh, okay. Marfugo just went live? Okay. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Oh, there was an explosion. That was Houston, though. Houston's way further south than that. But anyway, I want to give you guys some coverage here, though, guys, okay? So, anyway, there's that. So take that for what it's worth. But I brought you over here because there was a 6.7 up here last night. So I guess I could go back some. Let's, well, I don't know if I want to waste my time on this right now because I am not the earthquake guy. You guys know that. Let's do this. Right there it is. 6.5. Right off the coast of Canada. That's, Cascadia subduction zone. Anytime anything like that happens, you know what we're doing, right? I mean, that's something we don't want to see. It's not at all what we like to see because we know what happens when that thing slips. It ain't going to be good. So, but anyway, get over and check out Ron, Emergency Management Associates. Please do. I'm not sure if IG's in here right now or not, but yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. So we got this going on right now, okay? Matter of fact, I'm just going to reset that just to make sure that we got the latest imaging. Let me hit play here. I want you guys to see the magnetic pressure. So again, storms coming from left to right from the sun. Boom, 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 boom. And look at all that pressure. That's a lot. See how flat we still are. Something else I want to point out with the Aurora. Okay, you see how the magnetosphere, the tail of it's getting stretched out? When that happens, when we have a break in a magnetic field line, okay, from the front, it'll break. So you got two ends stretching back here, right? And as it rolls through, sometimes they'll come back together right here. And when they reconnect with each other, it can send a big shock right from the back of our planet into our system, and it can cause an Aurora substorm. It's very evident when it happens because you will see Aurora on the same latitude line globally, on the north and south. And it's very short-lived. It doesn't last very long. Okay? So that's how we know it's an Aurora substorm. And that's from a reconnection back here when our magnetosphere tail gets stretched out. Okay, if it happened right here, most likely you wouldn't see any kind of storm like that. But when the reconnection point's back here, I'm not sure exactly why. When we reconnect back here, it does that, but that's just what happens. So, yeah. I want to make sure I want to point that out to you guys. And I don't want to stick around here very much longer, just so we can get over to Marv. If I may come back on live, guys, after this. But I'm not shutting it down right this second. But if you guys want to come back and watch this on replay, please go check out Marv and Dex over there right now. They're probably doing Marfugal News right now. Nope. They're getting ready to start. They might be starting Marfugal TV. Marfugal News started at 10:11. So yeah. Well, that's when I got the thing. So I guess I went live all the way through that part of it. Sorry. See what I mean, guys? My mind's all over the place. I don't like going live when they are. It's just not what I like to do. I can't thank those guys enough, and I can't thank Fugal Fam enough, because it's just one of those things that I don't know. They really have made a huge difference in my channel. They keep, been such a great giving me advice in the background. They're the reason, one of the biggest reasons my channel is doing what it's doing. Okay? And I am not lost on that fact. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that what I do here matters too. And I know what you guys do here matters. But make no mistake, I so much appreciate them. Okay? I consider them, brothers and friends. Just like Rip and Aaliyah's my sister. And Trinity, same thing. Jammer's awesome. Guys, Jammer sent me a microphone. Literally, a microphone. Who does that? I'll tell you who does that. That's a brother and a friend. He didn't have to do that. He asked me, he said, hey, could you use the microphone? I got this one. I'm going to, I think he was going to sell it or send it back or something. He said, but if you want it, I'll send it down to you. And that's exactly what he did. I've done the same for other people too, but that just points to his character. And that's the people who we hang out with, guys. That's who you guys see when you go in that chat over there and talking to Jammer. That's what kind of man he is. So remember that, because it's important. Okay, so guys, I don't think this thing's going to get any weaker anytime soon. It's probably going to be up and down for a few minutes. I don't want to waste too much energy trying to tell you what's coming in the future, because I can't do that for you. Obviously, this one was late anyway. I always come over here and look. We have not had any big eruptions since, well, yeah, since that X-flare. We've had smaller ones, I'll say that, and they could be coming at us. And if those hit after this happens, we most definitely. Hey, Kristen, that's okay. Get some rest. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. So, but also, guys, this is the sunspot that fired the X-flare that we're dealing with now, the CME from that X-flare. I want to point something out, because I noticed this earlier. This sunspot I talked about yesterday, check this out, guys. See, our baseline is going to come back up on that X-ray flux, because we're going to start seeing more and more sunspots. Now remember, the parallax effect is going on over here too. When you're looking at a sphere, things that are on the side are actually smaller than what they actually are. They appear smaller. So it's kind of like that. Things in the mirror may be closer than they appear. But yeah. But this is Earth scale here. And this one here is the sunspot that produced that X-flare. So if it continues, and if it does something like right now or right here, a day from now, we're going to be dealing with some other big stuff. Okay? So yeah. Yeah, that's right. There you go, Deepquake, 100%. And there's stuff in the north that's rotating through here too. So I do want to point this out too, though. You see this sunspot, and then this sunspot grouping, and then up here in the north. You see how close these things are getting? These are very much really close to the equatorial region of the sun, if not already there. Okay? What that means is that when these things continue to do so, we probably got another year, maybe a little bit more of solar max. And then those will continue to migrate. And when they do, boom, there's your sun cycle. Okay? Polarities flip on the sun, and then we roll. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay. So, I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Let me show you SDO. And then, again, guys, if you want to go check out Mark, please go do that. You can come back and watch me. It's fine. That's what I suggest people to do anyway, because right now we're live during the live solar storm, but at the same time, sometimes what they're about 99% of the time, what they're talking about is going to affect you more than what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's not lost on me. All right, and that's why I tell you guys, please come back, and watch me on replay, and listen to them live. I'm out over there, so I'm going to be going over there here in a minute anyway. But I don't want to sell you guys short here either. So anyway, I'll show you SDO real quick. How long we've been live? I bet we've been live close to an hour anyway. Yeah, we're at an hour right now. So let's see what we got. If we got anything happening here. Oh, did you see that, guys? Wow. Really? I'll tell you why I'm saying it like that. Do you guys see how hazy this is? Gritty looking? It doesn't usually look like that. Let me look at a different angstrom. Because that could be space weather hitting that satellite. And it kind of does look like that. That is definitely a little bit more gritty than what it normally is. So they're either having a small issue with the satellite resolution, or, well, I'll just show you. Look, back here, beginning of the day, you see how clear this is in the black areas? Now watch when I bring it forward. You see how that grittiness spread out? That's about the time that space weather would have been hitting. Okay, so that's definitely, the solar storm's getting in deep enough it's hitting this satellite. Okay, so the next question is, where's the satellite, right? Well, I can do that for you too. This satellite's in geosynchronistic orbit. It's right here. Okay, it rotates itself to keep its eye on the sun, right? But it's in geosynchronistic orbit over this part of our planet at all times. I can't remember exactly how many miles in the air it is, but it's in low Earth orbit, which means it's pretty close to us. But it always stays over this part of the planet. So with that being said, if we're getting hit like that right now, it's getting in pretty deep. Because we don't always see that with SDO. I will say that. That's something that we don't typically see every time. We do from time to time. Is it a big deal? No. It's just an indicator of, hey, we are really taking a pretty decent hit right now. Okay? So. All right. Miss V, good to see you, Dennis. Dennis and Miss V, good to see both y'all. Cul-de-sac's in the house. Jeremy, what's up, Diana? Miss Dragon, love you, sister. Praying for you as always. And thank you guys for all the prayers too when I mentioned what was going on today. I do appreciate that. It really truly does mean something to me when you guys do that for me. But yeah, so I am, guys, you know what, before we leave here, let's do this. I'm going to do this for you. If you're fairly new to what I do, okay, and you heard me say Marfugal, right? Well, I'm going to drop a link in there for you, okay? The usual suspects. Check them out here. I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to share this, okay? I'm going to post this in our chat here. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me just hit share. I'll copy the link. And then I'll go to our chat. Or our chat here. I'll paste it. Send it. Okay, so there's your link to the live stream. Guys, rush over there real quick and say, hey, Wages World sent me. So if you've never been over there, they'll know that, hey, these are new viewers. Not that, I don't care if you really say it's from me. Just say, hey, I'm new here. What you guys doing? That kind of thing. Show them some love. Stormblade. He's over there. This is their chat. See? Some of you guys are in both rooms right now. And that's awesome. I do the same thing. Just so you know. Alright, guys. As this continues, I will be here 100% of the time. And if something big really changes here, I will be right back on. Okay? So please go over there. Check out everybody that I always shout out. With this earthquake that just happened in Texas, please go check out Ron at Emergency Management Associates and everybody else, guys. So what I'm going to do here, I will, and get your Aurora cameras out. Get your butts outside. Okay? Go look. If you guys are anywhere close to Canada or just even like Kansas and Colorado, please, Gary, what was his name? Was it Gary Garland? Guys, I'm sorry, guys. I'm horrible with names right now. I don't know why. My mind is just shot. But, anyway, guys, God bless. Anything happens, I'll be back. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.